Round two at the U.S. Open is in the books. We got a good-looking leaderboard, and Rich, it looks like we got a really good golf tournament too.
We got a super golf tournament coming up this weekend, Sandy. We got some of the best golfers on the planet. Ludwig Oberg right there at the top. I mean, he's just an amazing young talent. And then the chasing pack, you got Patrick Cantlay, who's hungry. You got Xander Schauffele not too far back. You got Rory McIlroy not too far back. You've got Tony Finau. I mean, it is loaded with talent. But I'm telling you what, Sandy, I promise you, Pinehurst #2 is going to win this weekend. Now, there's a golfer that's going to take home the hardware and the big check, but Pinehurst #2 is about to fight back. It's going to get really warm, and it's going to get interesting.
I'm curious. Earlier this week, I guess it was Thursday evening, Roy McIlroy was asked what score wins the golf tournament. He said 4 under. Do you think that's true?
I don't. I mean, I think whoever finishes the 4 under wins it, but I still think that if you shoot, I'll change my number to 2 under. I kept saying even par all week, but give me 2 under now. I just think that this golf course is going to get more and more difficult, and as the pressure gets more fierce, I think you're going to see a lot of guys just make some small mistakes, which could turn into bigger numbers. And it's just one of those things, Sandy, that it's one of these golf courses these players don't see all that often. One of these types of courses where the golf ball just chases away from you at every turn, and so the frustration levels you can see each day are kind of building and building. The guys on top of the leaderboard, they haven't struggled too much as of yet, but what happens when they start making 2-3 bogeys in a row and that heat really gets on them? I mean, it's bound to happen. It's happened in past U.S. Opens. No reason why it won't happen in this U.S. Open unless somebody decides to run away with it like Martin Keimer did back in 2014.
Right. I was thinking about that the other day. I can't believe it's been 10 years. How far back could someone come from to win this golf tournament? How many strokes back are still in it?
Yeah, we were actually talking about this on Sky Sports at the very end of the evening, kind of our closing thoughts. Honestly, Sandy, there's no reason why anybody who made the cut at +5 can't go out tomorrow morning, especially in early and softer conditions, and shoot 2-3 under, maybe even 4 under, and give themselves a chance. But I'm kind of thinking realistically, you've got to be somewhere around even par, I think, to have a realistic chance. There's some players out there that can take it deep. I mean, I think all eyes are going to be on Scotty Scheffler tomorrow to kind of see what he can do bounce back wise from a pretty dismal first 2 days. But again, when you start pressing on Pinehurst #2, it is it'll come back and bite you pretty hard.
Quick, just some random. Not going to hold you to anything, but I'll give you some prices on some futures since round 2 is completed. Ludwig Adberg is favorite at +335. Then Roy McIlroy at +450. Xander Schauffele +1200. You can get Matsuyama +1800. Shambo +450. Cantlay +900. Finau +1400. And Thomas Dietrich at +2000. If you were going to pick a winner, regardless of the odds there, which one do you like?
Well, I'm having a hard time looking past Ludwig, but there's something that there's 2 names in there that really kind of stand out to me, and one of them is going to be Xander Schauffele, just because he hasn't been on song, he hasn't been that great, that sharp. I think over the first 2 rounds, I think that he's one of the toughest competitors in the game. And I think that he's got a great chance to go out there tomorrow and put a little heat and maybe move the leaderboard a little bit. But Bryson DeChambeau looks to me like he is having a gas out there. I'm really looking forward to watching him. And he's hamming up the crowd, something, that we really didn't see a lot when he was on the PGA Tour. And I think now that he's gone away, and he has been a little bit outspoken about PGA Tour and Live and things like that. But I tell you what, with the way that he's been playing the last 3 majors, I just think that he's primed to maybe break through and win a second U.S. Open. He really looks like he's enjoying being out there. And you talk about an advantage for hitting it a long way and coming in there with short irons. That could be the massive difference that he needs over the weekend.
And I think he is of the mentality that this type of test he likes. He leans into something this difficult just based on who he is.
and that's something that I don't think that he would have embraced a few years back, Sandy. I mean, even after winning the U.S. Open in stellar fashion there at Wingfoot, I don't think that he would have really embraced that. To be fair, I think that even after he won the U.S. Open, he was still one of those figures that was a little bit bizarre, and we couldn't quite rally around him. But now he's engaging. He's
Hmm.
fist pumping it. He's on social media. He's funny. He's kind of showing a different personality, but he still brings a lot of game out there, and it's enjoyable to watch. The fans are embracing it. I know that our fans at Sky Sports are embracing it, and it's really a lot of fun. I think for everybody involved. And why not? Why not go out there and just take it to the golf course with that length and see what happens this weekend? It'll be interesting.
I'm curious your thoughts as we wrap up here, Rich. Sounds like Bryson DeChambeau is your pick then. Before I
I
ask a
think that
question,
Bryce, I mean, I've got to stick with my original pick though, is Xander Schauffele because he's one of them.
right, right.
And thankfully all three of my picks made the cut, and I'd like to see a couple of them move on up the leaderboard. But yeah, I think that the way that I'm looking at it is that Bryson is probably, he's got the most experience. He understands what it takes to win a U.S. Open. He almost won back to backs at Torrey Pines as well until he faltered the last 9 holes when John Rahm claimed victory. So he's got the goods, man. He's out there on top of it right now.
So I read something this week. Ludwig Oberg's caddy said something that I thought was really interesting, and I'm curious your take on it. He said Ludwig is the most organized person he's ever met in his life. He's organized off the golf course. He's organized on the golf course. And I was curious to play golf at that level, which you did for many years. Is that a thing to be like a characteristic, a personality thing to be very organized?
Well, first of all, he's Swedish, Sandy. I mean, how could he not be?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
that's just natural born. And you and I have known each other for what now? About 20 years now or so.
Yeah.
And being organized has never been a thing for me. Like
True.
I'm getting to the point, Sandy, that I'm actually forgetting to brush my teeth in the morning when I leave the house. So I actually have a toothbrush and toothpaste in my backpack just in case. But yeah, I mean, when you're able to compartmentalize everything that you do, especially in the game of golf, because golf just happens inside the ropes for, hopefully no more than 5.5 hours, on Thursdays and Fridays, as a professional golfer, and then about 4.5 hours on Saturday, Sunday. So if everything outside those ropes is going well, like when you get onto the driving range and you're ready to go and you're not thinking to yourself, man, I forgot to call mom last night, and
Yeah.
you things creep into your mind after a while, and to be that focused and that you haven't left any stone unturned, that's massive. And I think that can do nothing but help him, and or be like Phil Mickelson, who's able to forget the last shot that he just hit and go to the next one because he was as entertaining as anybody. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it, and it's got to be what your nature is, right? And my nature was to be as scatterbrained as I was, but thankfully I had a great caddy in Billy Heim to kind of keep me on the on the straight and narrow, especially when it counted the most.
PGA, a lot of great videos and stuff there. So have a great weekend, and we'll see who wins it. The cool thing is we've got a good golf tournament.
We got a great golf tournament, and I got to say that there's throughout the years, the U.S. Open has always been one of those things where, I don't have a very good track record at, but the venues get a little bit, I don't say boring, but predictable. This one's not, and I like it. I like unpredictable. Unpredictable it means fun to me. So this should be a hell of a weekend, Sandy.